Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel once again. So, like promised, we've got some content coming on the old 72 estate. There's a few bits and bats I want to do on it really. If you've caught the last video, which kind of got muddled up by YouTube and me posting it at the wrong time and stuff like that, it has only had a few hundred views, so it'd be nice if you guys want to go and check that out. Basically, I want to sort out the bodywork a little bit on it, keeping the patina, but I just kind of want to protect it a little bit, because obviously I don't really want to ever have to restore this car. I like how it looks, as weird as that is. It's about preservation, and there's a video on that, and there's a few new bits and pieces that I've got for the car. That being said, I said there was loads of bits and pieces I wanted to run through and sort. We want to get all four wheels off, just run through, make sure the brakes are okay, adjust them back up, just check suspension joints and stuff like that, because really it's been trouble-free motoring to a point, this car. It always starts first time on the button, as you've just seen. That's now been laid up for well over 6 weeks, and it's kind of just, it's just sat there, and it always just put the battery back on, fires up. But there is a job today, in today's video, that I want to get sorted, and it is, you probably saw, if you got that bit in the beginning of the video, the heater tap's leaking. So pop up to Minimine, grabbed a new part, comes with a gasket as well, which is mint, so all I need to reuse off mine is the original nuts, just to sort it out. I had the head rebuilt on this car, basically when I first bought it, converted to one-leaded, so it runs an E10 absolutely fine, this car, no additives or anything like that. New head gasket, it was running on 2 cylinders when I got it, just could not get it to run right. So the head's all been completely redone, so obviously I want to look after that, I don't want any issues with that. It's due a service as well, an oil change. It's not really done the mileage, but I like to keep them kind of, regardless of mileage, I'll change oil on it. Filter's not expensive. And oil's not particularly expensive on these cars, and it's not particularly hard to do. Everything's accessible, so that'll be another thing that we'll sort out. But this is obviously leaking water. I don't know if the tap's actually at fault. It's a bit stiff. I always try and lubricate it. I've changed the cable and stuff like that. So I do believe it's the original one. If you'll see it in a second, it's a completely different style to what this is. So unfortunately, it's going to look not period correct. But I have changed the carb on the car just to make it more drivable and stuff like that. But other than that, inside here, it's basically as it was. It just needs a good tidy up. But obviously we don't want to lose coolant. So I'll bring you guys in, let's have a look. So as you can see, over the winter as it's been sat, it's just crystallised water there, and obviously you don't want water crystallising anyway, because it means it's not doing what it should be doing. But obviously it's weeping out of this, so I just believe this has got a bit of a crack on it, or a gasket's failed. But while it's off, I know this is old, it's very old. I'm not going to get rid of it. If I can repair it, if it's just a crack in the casting, I'll get it repaired. But for the cost of it, it's not expensive. Let's just put a new one on with a gasket, clean it all up. We've got some Hylimer and stuff like that, so we'll get that sorted out. You can see where it started to run down the side of the head and stuff like that. So as a quick fix to get the car home, you can see I've just used some sealant, but it's obviously not worked. So we'll whip all this off, get this undone. I've ran the car up to temperature to make sure there isn't any other leaks or anything like that, and it's fine. So I've let it cool down. We'll check all the lines while we're in it, and we'll get it swapped over. Right, so you can see where obviously the water's just sat around here and obviously flowed down the side of the head there. It looks a lot worse than it is. It's pretty crap in there, to be quite frank, and it's really obscurely shaped through corrosion. So I do think it's time for this to come off. You can see the amount of sealant I packed around it. Yeah, I'll have a closer look at it, but it definitely looks a bit too tired for this car. The water galleries in there don't look the best, and it's, like I say, it's the older style. It's I would say it's probably the original one. I mean, it still functions okay, so it's still doing what it should. But yeah, we'll have a good look at it, put it on the bench and have a look. So stick that there for a rainy day. And then we've got obviously the new one to go on, but before I do that, obviously I want to clean all this, so I'm going to get a blade out, we'll get that all tidy.
Right, so I hope you can hear me over the engine. All on, all buttoned back up. I know that's not the correct place for the coil, but it's always been there in this car, so it's gone back where it was. Never caused any issues before. There should be a stud that's slightly higher, but I don't know why. Yeah, not leaking. You see there. Dropping down. Spot on. So I had to make a bit of a repair to the cable. I could do with a new cable really. I've just put some tape down it to help it grip, but the casing's coming off. But I mean, it's still working fine. Like I said, the cable was never at fault. But yeah, it's a bit shiny. So I'm gonna get some black paint out. We're gonna get that all tidied up, and yeah, one job off the list. Just ticks over this little thing. A bit noisy on the timing chain. So yeah, we get back up to temperature. Hopefully it'll be sorted. But yeah, spot on for that. Just the part I needed, and yeah, it looks a bit shiny in the engine bay to be fair, but I'm not one for detailing engine bays. I'll keep them clean and tidy and functioning and working as they should. But it is what it is. This car would look weird with a mint engine bay. Yeah, pretty happy with that. I know it's a little dinky job. A lot of people said don't bother putting one of them on, go for DSN Classic stuff. But this car isn't a DSN Classic car or a retro sport car. It would look stupid with anodized bits all over the engine bay. So I've gone with that. It's basically an original. So keep it looking as it is and keep it working as it is. So I'll knock her off and yeah, we'll start getting the engine bay tied up a bit. So yeah, if you couldn't hear me over the sound of the engine ticking away then, it's all fitted. Like I said, I had to make a bit of a repair to the case in there for a bit of loom tape basically, just to give it something to grip hold of. But yeah, nice and pressed. It's got up to temperature now. This is nice and warm. I've moved it in and out and it's working fine. What I will do, as I always do, is I'll grease this up and stuff like that, just so it can't get seized up. But yeah, spot on. So thanks very much for that, Minimine. That's that sorted. Yeah, let's find some black paint and just paint that engine bay back up, clean that up, and get rid of that corrosion because it looks minging down there. And that's a job sorted. Also guys, remember if you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Check out our sponsors in the description below, Frost Restoration. Obviously they're a massive help for this channel and we're going to be working closely with them very soon. Right, so a few moments later, all that's painted. Ooh. Just tidy that up and I kind of blended it around there. I've not gone mental, like I say, it is what it is, this engine. But I kind of did paint the top of the rad and stuff. But it is looking a lot better, and obviously we don't have a leaking water now. We have our normal mini oil leaks because it's a mini. So what do we have planned next for this vehicle? I would like to get it running off that horrible electric fuel pump. It shouldn't be there. The washer bottle should be over there. So I'd like to get it running on that, on a mechanical pump. So I'm going to contact SU and get the proper pump for it. I have got one. I tried to get it running. There's a little spacer down in the depths which you won't be able to see down there, and I'm not sure if it's the correct one or not. So if anyone's got a 72 Mini with a 998 engine fitted, if they could give me the dimensions of the spacer, I'm assuming the one that's in there that's been blanked off is correct, but I don't see any reason why you would change it. But obviously I need to know this moving forward, so if anyone's got that, I'd really appreciate that information. So on the next video on this car, I'll probably get off camera, just take the wheels off and leave it all once over, because I don't think it actually needs anything, so it'll be a very boring video. But what we will do, a bit of dirt, yep, is I'm going to try and get some white paint, because like I said in the first video of this vehicle, I'd like to blend this a little bit, and put the wood trim back on so it looks a little bit more, I'd say less scruffy, but you know what I'm trying to say. I want it looking a little bit better than that. Inside wise, there's absolutely nothing to do in here. It just needs a bit of a clean. It's a bit muddy, a bit grubby. And yeah, pretty happy at that. On the back of the car, like mentioned, we have another set of doors, so exactly the same colour, similar kind of patina, just not as bad. So crap, but not as crap. We will get them fitted. I'm looking forward to getting them on, because like I say, we've got fumes coming in the vehicle, because it acts as a bit of a vacuum. It's happened to me in another car before, where there was a seal missing off the bottom of the door. I literally put the seal back on and the fumes stopped coming in. So I do need to sort that out, and I am very conscious that does need to get done. So the doors are in there, so we'll get that sorted out, and yeah, get that fitted up. Other than that, I'm going to try and research a little bit more about preserving this paintwork a little bit more. So for the shows and stuff previously, I've just heavily waxed this vehicle. I mean, drowned it in wax, and it always beads up and it always repels water, and it always looks quite clean because it's a white car. That's all been machine polished under there, so it's I want to kind of keep it nice. But there's things like linseed oil, WD-40. I know Johnny Smith used WD-40 on his Charger. Linseed oil is apparently quite a good thing for it as well, just to retain as much of this as possible, because I don't intend to restore this car. I just adore how it looks, hence why this looks a bit out of place for me now, because I feel like someone's repaired it. It needed repairing for when it had its MOT a few years back, but it, do you know what I mean? To me, I just want to keep the wood trim going. It looks a bit too scruffy, especially when you go onto the other side, and you can see obviously it's got the correct Leyland badge and stuff like that, and it's all kind of it's all matching and looks nice. And like I say, I've got all this, so we can paint that up to match. But yeah, even the ragdoll painted look like a show car now.
Right guys, that is the end of this video. So we've managed to achieve sorting the water leak out, new tap fitted, all sealed up. It's run up to temperature, everything seems fine. So this car does need a good run. So we're going to take it for a bit of a run now. Yeah, we'll get it all up to temperature properly on the road, moving, but standing idling, it's not getting hot or anything like that, and the water's flowing nicely, heater tap's working nice. So job sorted, water leak done, painted the back of the engine and stuff where it was all down. It was running down, of course, a bit of corrosion. Also painted the radiator top just because it was looking scruffy. But we are ticking away with this. So we've got a few bits we wanted to do. If you've not seen the previous video on this car, we'll sort the A panel out and stuff like that, which is what I've just mentioned when I wandered round. So we will get cracking with that. So if you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up. Comment away below. Like I said, it would be interesting to know if you've got cars that have patina and stuff like that, how you look after them. I'm leaning towards like linseed oil and things like that, and like I say, WD-40 is obviously very cheap, but also it smells amazing and stuff like that. But what have you guys used? I'll be open up options. I want to keep it and preserve it. So she lives always under a cover and stuff like that, so very rarely goes out in the rain. If it gets caught in the rain, it gets wet, it's one of them. But as long as it's protected, that's the main thing. So like I say, the inside of the body's all fully undersealed and solid and nice. So hope you had a cracking day, and I hope you've been getting on with your projects and stuff, whether it's a Mini or another vehicle, and catch you in the next one when we start doing a bit of the bodywork and start just tidying up generally.